All right. Hey, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Today is October 14th, 2021, and I had to redo this because I was almost done with the first one, and I had a delivery come to the door. So I'm going to start over. So in the first one, Willie was out here, my cat, so I was just going to warn you guys. We kind of got our cats addicted to cat treats. So every time I find the kitchen, they swarm us, and they're very loving, but I have to cut back because they're getting a little carried away. So let's get on with this dream. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to share this dream. I wasn't sure, if it was just for me. So I've been praying on it today, and I shared it with my friend Melissa, and I'm going to give you her thoughts on it too. And then I remembered that the Lord said, whatever I get, I need to share. Okay. And also in the dream, the Lord brought back to me what was actually shown in the dream. So I knew that, all right, I'm going to go ahead and share this. You guys, as always ask you to pray for discernment. I feel this dream is very encouraging. So I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you. And I'm going to give you my thoughts because actually, when I was recording this earlier, I got a revelation on the meaning of something, which is so cool. So sometimes I just think it's amazing because I was unsure today. And then when I was putting up a video just a few minutes ago, when I was talking to you guys about it, I just got an understanding. So let's get going on this. So let's see. In the dream, it was an outdoor area, which it was just a huge area. Now, I remember I was sitting at like a banquet table, like you put those big banquet tables together, like for a wedding or whatever. So I was sitting there and there's other people milling about. Now, off to my left, I saw thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and they were all sitting in chairs like you would in an auditorium, okay? And there was a single podium in front of them. So I knew that these people were graduating from something, okay? And this is the revelation that the Lord gave to me just a few minutes ago. So, and I'll bring that up in just a minute. I don't want to confuse everybody. So again, thousands of people sitting in chairs like you would in an auditorium. Now, as I sat at this table, I saw a little girl go up and talk in the podium, talking the microphone, but I couldn't hear what she said. And then I saw a group of people go up, and they were discussing abortion. After that, it was like this, somebody opened a zipper like I said, when I was looking ahead, I was just seeing outdoor stuff, and it was like somebody unzipped the air or the it was weird, but it was almost like they unzipped and a scene appeared right in front of me. And I heard a voice say, now the farm market is open, or the farm fair is now open. You guys can, it's open, ready to go. So after that, a woman came up, and she came up to the other side of the table I was sitting at. And I knew in this dream that this was an angel. There was no doubt. And out of all the people sitting there, like we weren't really connected with the audience. It was like there was a group of us on the one side, but she bent over and just handed me this object. And what it looked like, it looked like a cutting board, a board, but it was shaped in the shape of a bottle or like a vase, and it was white. And it was outlined in really pretty flowers. Like, I know there was purples and pinks and red flowers. And she handed this to me, and the look that she gave me, I knew was important. And I knew at this point that I could refuse this if I wanted, okay? And I also knew that if I took this, that I had to do what it said, okay? So again, when I was praying this morning, this brought me back to the other dream where I was shown that when God gives me something, I have to open it and I have to share it. This was God's truth. Okay, so this was the same scenario where I knew that if I took this, I would have to do what it told me to. So I took this object, and what it was is my job was to encourage people, okay? Encourage them and pep them, okay? Like a pep talk, so to speak. That's exactly what was told in the dream, was a pep talk. So I believe what this was saying was, this was just showing me that this has been my job, okay? This was what I was called to do by the Lord, and that I was, if he showed me things, I was to share it. So this kind of helps me feel better about my past too, because sometimes I think, oh, I shouldn't have shared this, I shouldn't have shared that. But this is basically saying that I believe this represents my ministry. I am to be an encourager. And the people in the auditorium, they were the graduating class. I believe this possibly, and Melissa, this is what Melissa said, could represent my ministry. So if all the people that are listening to me now during this time, you guys are in about ready to graduate. This is what I think this is all symbolic of. Now, and I'm talking about going home. I'm talking about the rapture here, okay? The group of people are the people, and if you notice, I told you there was a little girl that shared her story, and I think, I'm not sure about this part, but and then the group of women, this could possibly mean maybe talking about some other people out there today that were wondering maybe what their jobs were. I don't know for sure yet, but I just want to share what I saw. Now, when I was given this special thing from the angel, and I realized that what my job was to do, I looked at a clock that was hanging on the wall, and it said 7 o'clock. And I knew that we only had 1/2 hour left. A half hour. I knew that this had to be done at 7:30, and I know I've had other dreams with the same exact thing. Okay? So I was also looking around on the wall to see what year this graduating group of people were. Like I graduated in 1985. Okay, what group was this? I never saw one. But the only thing I did see, and these two numbers they were it was like they were hanging in the heavens, because the background that I saw were stars and like the arcs of the earth. I saw the year 2018 and the year 2017. So I don't know if these numbers are symbolic of something, or if maybe those were just pivotal years. But I know that God doesn't show me anything for no reason. So these are a couple things I'm still praying on, and thus the reason I'm sharing this with you guys. So that was it. The only other thing that was pretty amazing was there was this really, really big man with me, and he was like my bodyguard. I mean, this guy was huge. And everywhere I went, he went. And so when the angel gave me this, I remember talking to him and saying, I only have a half hour left. That's it, I have to hurry. I have to get going. So that's another reason why I'm sharing this, because if this is some kind of time thing, I'm going to make sure that I share everything I get, just in case. So real quick, if you guys don't mind, I really trust Melissa. She is my sister. The Lord showed us that we have the same job. He put us together. So I'm going to read what I sent to her, okay? This is her thoughts. Her thoughts were, wow, the church is at the end. You are reaching thousands of people with your messages of encouragement and spiritual wisdom, warnings to stay the course and focus. Because I forgot to tell you guys, what was on my notepad in the dream was to encourage, what I was going to say to these people was, whatever you went to school for, whatever you're learning, stay on that and focus on that. Don't get swayed by getting into drugs and partying, because that's only going to lead to death. I do remember specifically those were the words that I wrote down on my tablet, because that's what I was doing, was writing down what I was going to say. And it was keeping people in line, keeping them on track, and focusing on what's before them. And don't get persuaded. Don't get knocked off your trail there, so to speak, okay? So Melissa goes on to say, okay, warning them to stay the course and focus on your work here for the Lord. She said, I believe the Lord showed you that he has provided angelic protection for you. The woman who gave you the vase and the large man, which I agree. I knew that in the dream. She also said the Lord is providing you with both encouragement and protection. The vase sounds like maybe a kind of new spiritual gift that you are now receiving. You had half an hour, and she said, we are so close. So she said, we got to goof around this morning. I said, so I wonder how long a half hour is then, I know from the Bible in Revelations, it says before Jesus opens the seventh seal, there was a half hour of silence. So I know the half hour doesn't represent years. It can't, okay? It just simply can't. So she's like, let me ask my husband. He's a mathematician. So she came back and said that he came up with 7.5 days. And I said, well, that's kind of weird. So 7.5 days would be 7.5. And the time that I was shown is basically 7.5. 7.5 hours it was the timing, it was 7, I had till 7:30, and 30 is half of an hour. So you could basically mark that as 7.5. And he came up with 7.5 days. Now, believe me, guys, that would be freaking awesome. But I'm just giving you our thoughts. But I am going to tell you a little bit more that Melissa wrote to me. Let me just find it here, because she's really good with these Jewish dates, or the Jewish festivals. And she mentioned something on here, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay, now she said 7.5 days takes us to Thursday, October 21st, 2021, the 7th Hebrew feast day, Tabernacles. And she said, and I recall it was 7 in your dream begins on October 22nd, which would actually be sunset on October 21st. Because remember, Israel's days don't start until midway. Okay, which is another thing that's pretty interesting about this dream, that it was 7.5, the time-wise, because remember, their days are different than ours, okay? So she goes, remember, we are 1 month behind on the feast days because the grain that was offered on September 6th for Rosh Hashanah was still green, and that pushes all the feasts back 1 month. Now, I did remember seeing that on Stephen Ben Noon. I watched somebody on YouTube that said exactly what she just did, that things had been pushed back a month. And I told her, I said, well, I remember the dream I had where September and October were switched. So I just find this all very interesting. That's all I'm going to say, is I find it very, very interesting. So the feasts have been pushed back, and immediately what came to my mind was September and October had been changed in the dream. And I've been wondering all these years. But see, God shows us stuff years ahead of time. Sometimes days, but usually it's not something that's going to happen right overnight. So she goes on to say, what is interesting about all this is I actually looking to Tabernacles for a possible time frame for the rapture. She said Tabernacles is the time when some Bible scholars believe that Jesus was actually born, based upon the timing when John the Baptist was born and adding 6 months. So it would make sense that the church, the male child, would be birthed on the same day. So these were some of the things we talked about. And of course, you guys know, we're as excited as you guys. So anyways, I just find the whole thing pretty interesting. So like I said, the first part of this dream wasn't so much something in the future. It was showing me, because when when my husband got a word from the Holy Spirit the other day, and it may have just been for him, but he said, it's for all of us. We all have work. I was asking the Lord, what's my job? And even though I know I've been sharing videos and stuff, I guess I just never really looked at it as encouragement. I just did what I felt led to do, And so he showed me, from the beginning, here, this is, you are to encourage people. So what came to me like that, like I was saying, that revelation when I was trying to do this video earlier was, oh my gosh, if the thousands of people were representing the ones that I was talking to, and they were graduating, then it's like, because see, before I just knew that there was thousands of people sitting there. I didn't really connect it to me at first, not until I was talking to Melissa. But I'm thinking, if that's the case, if that was symbolic of, my ministry, then you guys are the graduating class. So that means that, yeah, in other words, we are super close. Like I said, I'm not sure about how long the half hour is, but in the dream, I knew that it was super, super close. And I was hurrying because, I had work to do. So anyways, I pray this thing encourages you guys. I really do. I try to speak. I feel like I'm talking fast, but I try to speak slowly and clearly. So please forgive me if I got a little carried away today. But I pray for each and every one of you, okay? I pray that the Lord blesses you and keeps you safe. And if you get anything, always share it. I usually try to take a look. Sometimes it takes me a couple days, but I usually try to go in and take a look. So I love you guys, and I'll let you know if I get anything else. Bye.